did the tutoring, I really struggled in maths, so I always put my hand up because I never got what I had to do.
My tutor has time to focus on me, so I can learn aspects I haven't learned in primary school or haven't picked up in class.
When I was told that I'd done tuition, I feel a bit, but when I did do it, I thought, wow, because it does help me. I've gone up a level.
These three boys feel they have benefited from one-to-one tuition in English and maths.
The A and the I.
Don't open your book.
We visited two schools that have been using one-to-one tuition: Seaford Head Community College in East Sussex and May Place Primary School near Dartford.
The benefits of being able to introduce one-to-one tuition in the school for us has been to offer those children who've been a bit stuck or have not been moving as quickly as we would expect, to offer them some very intensive tuition. For a teacher to be able to work with a child in that way is not something that we would ordinarily be able to offer during the course of the school day.
A lake tends to stand still. Okay, there's no tide. So we either change the lake or we change the flowing.
Change the lake too.
Okay.
We've been very lucky in that we've been able to recruit members of our own staff to be the tutors. So the children know them, they know the children, and we've been able to arrange it relatively easily at each end of the school day, either at the beginning of the school day or the end of the school day.
When I was asked to do the tutoring, obviously the extra hours, paid hours, were somewhat of an incentive, but equally I've really enjoyed the opportunity to spend an hour a week working with a child individually and really focusing on their learning needs and learning styles, and it's been great to see them progress throughout the project. What about the colour? The colour of his eyes?
Brown.
Pupils are selected for tuition where there are specific gaps in their learning. The class teacher identifies areas for improvement using, for example, APP, observation, and discussions with the pupil.
Well, really, what Lewis needed was to work on his sentence structure. He needed to begin to use more complex connectives within his sentences and also to open his sentences in a way that would wow the reader. He did need to use more description and to move from using simple to more complex sentences, so to look at the word order within the sentences as well. So read that sentence out to me.
Watching from a distance, the orangutan stared at the man hunting him down.
That's good. Actually, that's not what you wrote, is it? You edited that as you read it. Because you put, watching from a distance, the orangutan was staring at men hunting him down. And actually,
the tutor and class teacher liaise during the tuition period, assessing progress and adjusting targets where necessary.
And actually, the way you read it was much better.
So he's just over halfway through his 10 sessions of tutoring. And so with his tutor, we sat down at the beginning and in the middle. So just recently, we've looked at his targets that have been set for him and the progress that he's making, looking at the work that he does with her and the work that he does in class as well. OK, so if you can just turn very sensibly, just turn.
When I go back into my class after my tuition, I feel that I can do things, but last time I didn't feel like I can't do this.
Lewis, could I ask you, you've put your hand up saying you've written a double choc chip. Let's hear yours.
This dog food is barking mad. It's very delicious. Your dog will love this treat.
What do we think?
Double chocolate.
It's good.
When I first heard about the one-to-one tuition, I had some reservations. What is this going to entail? Does this mean he's really underachieving in class? But then after speaking to Mrs. Pemberton and his teachers, it gave me hope and confidence that he's going to help Lewis and bring his confidence up in class.
What is it that we look for in our opening words?
An opener.
That
ING.
Yeah, we look for ing words, don't we? ING words and LY words.
This year, I've done 4 sessions, and it's really helped me with my literacy. So I'm really happy with what I'm doing at the moment.
We have had 24 children who've gone through the programme so far, and it has been enormously successful for us. From evaluating the programme, we found that the impact has been considerable in terms of building their confidence, and that confidence seems to have had an impact on other areas of their learning as well.
Pupils that are selected for one-to-one tuition can have up to 10 hours tuition in English or maths, or 20 hours in both English and maths.
Tens and units.
Ryan has recently completed 10 hours of maths tuition.
80 plus 20.
Good. And Ryan was identified as a candidate for the tuition by Mrs Pemberton, the head teacher. Miss Flaherty and I then together highlighted an APP sheet of what we felt Ryan's strengths were, and then that left us with the gaps that we knew had to be filled. From that, Miss Flaherty was then able to plan a series of lessons and really make detailed plans of how she was going to tutor him.
I tutored Ryan last term, and Ryan was very interesting because he really did lack confidence with his maths. We did lots of mental maths and lots of talking, and he really improved his speed, and that made a big difference to his confidence as well, because it meant he could join in with the lessons a little bit more.
Then what do you think is going to be the most sensible way to record this data?
A tally chart would be okay, wouldn't it?
A tally chart would be a good idea.
And then you could record, and then after you've done the tally chart, you could then record it onto an actual graph.
Good, well done, brilliant.
During the 10 weeks,
Confident.
it did. The confidence has gone so many levels higher. He's more confident, can do your work.
Yeah.
Even said it was too easy. Didn't you? Yeah.
I don't
You said,
remember.
it was too easy.
What happened was he was actually exceeding what I was actually doing in the class. So it just gave me an opportunity then to have to think about differentiation and putting in those extra bits for Ryan, just to make sure that he had a sufficient challenge but was still feeling confident.
I think I've been moved up to a different table because of my levels.
I need a way, a quicker way, to get me the information before I put it in a bar.
I seem to put my hand up a bit more to tell the answers, and but I don't always get picked.
What do you think, Eden?
A tally chart.
A tally chart. Well done. A tally chart is going to
And
be...
when I hear someone else's answer and I hear it's the right one, and if it's my one, I'm disappointed that it didn't pick me.
At Seaford Head Community College in East Sussex, 160 students at Key Stage 3 have had one-to-one tuition.
We've been really successful at getting this one-to-one tuition out and in the community, and we've actually tutored about 160 students now, and we're halfway through the second year.
OK, and we've got some keywords here because...
The government has set out 4 strict criteria for selecting students for one-to-one tuition. They are students that came into Key Stage 3 below level 4, students who are stuck in their progress across Key Stage 3, students who are slow-moving across Key Stage 3, or looked after children. The scheme is funded by the government, so it costs nothing to the school, nothing to the students and nothing to the parents. And so this was a way of us being able to offer something extra to our students and to our parents that would really help with their learning.
In this instance, we're saying it's a strange way to describe it and makes the reader feel a bit uncomfortable.
One of the students who is currently having tuition in English is Dan, who is in Year 9.
I think it does, although it doesn't do it as effectively as the level 6.
Good, OK. That's what I want you to do, first off, really, is to do that. To have
Dan fits into our criteria because he's not a below-average child. He's an enthusiastic and motivated child, but he was finding it really difficult to be able to work at level 6 without a lot of support in lessons, and got stuck at level 5 when he wanted to be and the teachers thought he should be at level 6.
Which you think is level 5 and which you think is level 6? OK.
My teacher
Georgia,
said to me that it would be beneficial to me because I'm doing the right stuff, but there's a few gaps in my knowledge. So these 10 hours of tuition will help me to get higher levels, and the stuff I'll be doing with my tutor will help me with my classwork.
I let the tutor know what I thought Dan needed to work on, and I based it on the assessment focuses on the APP sheets and picked out several writing criteria that he really needed to focus on.
So So have a look.
All the liaison with the teacher, which is really important, has been done by email. Usually what I get asked the teacher for is the level at which the student is at the present time and some key areas for them to work on, which I'll then use certainly to start the sessions, and then I might see my own kind of targets for them to improve upon as the sessions go on. So can you just tell me a little bit about what you think a metaphor is?
A metaphor, isn't it like personification, but it's not giving it human-like qualities?
At this school, tuition happens outside school hours, including school holidays.
Similarly.
Since you used one in your homework.
Describing.
What, do you remember you used one here?
Here.
In the story that you were writing? You said she snatched it up as if she were a baby taking candy.
Yeah. When I work with my tutor, I get there and usually we'll go over homework that has been set in the last tutoring session. I enjoy having my tutor Karen. She's friendly and we have a lot of fun together as well as learn a lot.
Read that one out.
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. Alliteration?
Why?
At the end of the tuition period, the class teacher and tutor meet to assess the progress made. New targets are then set to further challenge the pupil.
Just pointed out that the vowels are underlined there.
Owls.
There you go.
That's the one.
It doesn't necessarily mean it won't be the same one.
It was quite daunting thinking about setting up tuition to start with, and we started very small. We got our maths and English teachers involved straight away so that they actually understood the process. And all of our maths department and 2 of our English department actually volunteered to tutor 1 student. And although it was very successful and the teachers could see that it was going to breed success, they didn't really want to take part any longer. So we then went to looking for tutors externally, and we have found tutors through the local authority who've supplied us with some tutors, and we've also advertised and interviewed for tutors ourselves.
I think that all the students that have received tuition have become more engaged and seem to be more involved in their own learning. Also, in terms of their grades and the assessed work that they've done, I've seen improvement in all of the students.
My tutoring has helped me in my classwork because when my sessions with my tutor, it's one-to-one. So instead of having a classroom full of 30 pupils, she can focus just on me and what I need to learn. So I can develop a wider understanding of the concepts that I have not learned in primary school in 7 and 8.
One of the things that's been really interesting to watch is actually how it does have an effect on motivation of students and their whole attitude to school. With a number of students, we had some poor attendance records and we had students that really weren't engaged with learning across the school. And for the most part, those students really have come on leaps and bounds. And I think one of the reasons for that is that they feel special because they have been chosen for this extra tuition.